And so please describe to me what the aesthetic look is exactly.
Well, like this guy here.
Yeah. So we'll go ahead and bring
Oh wow, you really have to come in here? Is this is this really happening? He met the other guy behind you, bro. Like I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm right into that bad boy.
You can stay right there, behind the camera, behind the camera. No, see now you got me jealous now.
That's okay.
That's not
no,
fair.
But you're more in the category like Luther Richter, Arnold, name.
My man.
Okay.
Yeah. Arnold Ferrigno. Huh?
Okay.
Aesthetic. That's great, partner. You two ever go outplace everything in its proper place?
That does not make sense, but we usually do go, we head to Kroger's and we work.
Oh, yeah. I've got a lady waiting for me back home also. She has the most beautiful scrotum. Oh, God. And when she sings, she sounds just like a puppy dog. How do you nail a photo?
Just gotta get in the mode. You gotta talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Talk with your eyes.
Okay, so can you show me a little bit of something, like to this camera? I would love to know how to do this. I just want to know.
Well,
how do you do it? Teach me something.
You can get the sexy eyes, then you gotta get the smile going on some shoes, but
Wait, hold up. I gotta
when
try this with you.
When it's time to laugh,
I gotta try this with
think
you.
of something funny and start laughing.
Do it again. Do it again. How do you do it? Teach me.
Sexy eyes.
The sexy eye.
This is sexy eyes right here.
Smizing?
Smile.
So you're smizing.
Smile.
Okay.
And then you gotta get the.
No, I look like I need to take a poop or something.
Wish words were like little toy guns. No sting, no hurt, no one, just a bang, bang. Right?
Is that it?
Yeah, it's something like that. Just a bang,
Toy
bang,
guns.
rolling off your tongue.
Toy guns.
It's no smoke, no
Bang, bang.
bullets.
Water guns. All right.
Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. We be going wild, Haitian in the building, so original. Got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high, cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold up, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live, somebody. Let's go.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Pascal Show. Good morning, everybody. It's Friday. Ho, ho. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, thank you, Jesus. It's Friday. Oh, my Lord. It was a long week for me. I don't know why it was a long week for me, but it was. But, one thing that's really great about doing this show, it gets you through some of the slowest days in the world. And I get to go through this long week with y'all. You know what I'm saying? It's a blessing. It's a full-on blessing. But anyway, with that being said, I hope you guys are all having a fantastic Friday. You know what I'm saying? And for those of y'all who are overseas, if you partake in the adult beverages, I hope you're enjoying your libations right now. Just drink responsibly. That's all I ask. But it is Friday, so you get to kick up your feet, relax a little bit, and enjoy your day. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to be doing that when the show is over. For sure. Well, not when the show is over, because it will still be the morning time. But you know what I'm saying. I still got to go to the gym. I still got responsibilities to do. You feel me? I still got adulting to do. But after that, I will be enjoying a wonderful cup of soda, I guess. Anyway, David's in the house. What's up, man? What's a guan?
Hey, man, not much. It's a good day out here. But actually, it's pretty windy with a bunch of sand in the air. We got a sandstorm going on, so the air kind of sucks outside. But other than that, it's sunny and nice until the dust blocks the sun anyway.
Yeah, man.
Probably soon.
Yeah, man. Oh, Immortal, there won't be any show tonight. I only do my show, the evening show Tuesdays through Thursday. But I will most likely do. No, I won't be doing a show tomorrow. Unfortunately, I have a birthday party I have to go to. Unfortunately, and it's in the middle of the day, for crying out loud. In the middle of the day on a Saturday. And this is a grown ass. And this is a grown ass man, by the way. Okay. This ain't like some 5-year-old. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no 6-year-old party where you have the party at 1:00 in the afternoon type of deal. This is a grown ass man, and he's having a birthday party in the middle of the afternoon. So unfortunately, there will not be a Speak On It Saturday, unfortunately. But other than that, you know what I'm saying? I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'll try to squeeze something in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Before the party or something like that. I don't know. I'm going to try to figure it out. But Bob, I totally agree. He ain't grown. He is a baby man. I'm totally kidding. He's my boy. This is my boy and everything. But middle afternoon party and you a grown ass man. I don't know. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. You know what I'm saying?
My first response was, why would you be mad at going to a kid's party? Then you told me it was an old man, or not an old man, but a grown man at least.
Yeah, a baby man. You know what I mean? A man baby. Yeah. Or the Pioneer just said man child. He's like a man baby. You know what I mean? He's a baby man. I don't even know what they call it, but anyway, you know what I'm saying? No, I love him to death. He's my boy and everything, but and I'm sure it's a good idea. I just saw Siri say, "I love an afternoon birthday party. More time to have fun." You're absolutely right. When I got the invitation, real quick, I thought the invitation said 12 a.m. Like the party was going to start at basically midnight, right? So then my fiance was like, no. The party's 12 p.m. And I was like, who the hell throws a party? I'm like, okay, I guess he wants to do some day drinking. Basically, he wants to do some day drinking. And that's totally fine. That is totally fine. You know what I'm saying? It's Mr. T's birthday today.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you for the $5 super chat, Immortal Badass. It's Mr. T's birthday today. So y'all got to wear them gold chains today. I ain't got no gold chains. I don't have any gold chains. I feel bad now. But, I pity the fool.
See, I'm already too old for like evening parties and stuff. I get up at like 4 a.m. every day.
Wow.
I'm tired by like 8 p.m.
How do you do that? I don't know how you do it, man. I don't know how you do it. Real
I like
talk.
to get most of my work done before the show. That's why. So that's why I always wake up early.
That's interesting.
I used to do my work watching the show, but then you decided to make me work during the show. So now I can't do that anymore.
That's funny. You know what? Tammy from Block said, and you're old and you have to be in bed by 9, Pascal. That's hilarious. Well, in this particular situation, yes. After the party, I could actually go to sleep. I could go to bed early and wake up at a decent time on Sunday. So it's to me, it's a positive thing in a way, because you get the party in. You know what I mean? You get the social good times out the way quick. You see what I'm saying? So I guess it's a positive. I'll take it as a positive. I look at it as a positive. But at the same time, I'm like, this man is a grown-ass man, and we having a party at noon. Okay, that's fine. Unless he's going to, and you never know, he might be marathon drinking. I have a feeling it's going to be one of those things where he's
Is
like,
he 40? That would make sense.
what, is he 40? That would make sense.
That's what I've seen a lot. When people hit 40, they drink extra hard on that big 4-0 for some reason.
You know what? Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I see a lot. Well, also 5-0, the big 5-0, because 5-0 is over the hill, right? Ain't 50 over the hill?
Yeah, that's what they call it.
Right.
I think it's now like the middle of the hill, though.
Right.
It's the peak.
Because now like they say like 50's like the new 40 and 40's the new 30. I don't know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Kiki5 said, please, I start celebrating at 8 a.m. on my birthday. Well, that's facts, but you're not celebrating your birthday at 8 a.m. with all your friends and family. You feel me? You probably wake up, make yourself a cocktail, maybe an extra shot when nobody's watching, kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? You know that you ain't driving anywhere. You can go kick it with your fam later on. But you're probably nursing a nice little heavily poured cocktail for the day before the festivities. You feel me? And then you do whatever you want, depending on how you celebrate your birthday. You might just want to read the Bible and drink Perrier. You never know. You know what I mean? Pellegrino, if you're going to do the bubbles. You know what I mean? The bubbly water. That's just my own personal opinion. And that's the bougie side of me just talking right there. Y'all seen me with my Pellegrinos, okay? Facts. All right. But yes, so tomorrow I might try to do a morning speak on it, Saturday type thing before I leave. So just keep an eye out. I'll let you guys know throughout the course of the day what I decide to do. You know what I mean? I might use that opportunity to actually sleep in, because I'd like to sleep in. That would be really, really amazing. But anyway, we got some really great stuff we got to talk about. Siri, I'm so sorry that you missed that you had to cancel your 40th last year. That's terrible. What are you guys going to do this year? You see what I'm saying? Like, what are you guys going to do this year to remedy the birthday parties that you had to cancel? Like, we all had to lose something last year. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of us weren't able to celebrate properly a good birthday. So what are you going to do this year? Are you going to turn it up all the way up? You're going to turn it up and rip the knob off? Or is it just going to be, are you just going to keep it subdued and proper. Comment down below. Tammy from the block, I'm sorry that you had to cancel your 50th last year. Damn. You see what I'm saying? That's terrible. And those are big, huge milestones. You know what I mean? Those are huge numbers that you want to go and you just want to, party your face off. And I mean that in a good way. I'm not sitting here saying it all has to be drug and alcohol induced. I'm not trying to condone that kind of behavior. But being able to just be with your family and friends and have a great ass time. And it sucks that you can't do that because of, like, last year you couldn't do that. So what are you going to do this year? That's the thing. You see what I'm saying? Now that the world is starting to open up slowly but surely, hopefully when when your birthday comes back around, you're able to do something. And if you are going to do something, what you going to do about it? Huh? What you going to do? Comment down below. Are you going to turn it all the way up or no? But anyway, we got to move into some conversations that we have going on. We have I have an interview with an actor, filmmaker by the name of George Casturos coming onto the show. He's got a movie he is promoting, and I'm very excited about having him on all the way from LA. So we're going to be chopping it up with him here in a little bit at the 10 o'clock hour. But before we jump into that, Gaza ceases fire. David's got the story. What's going on, bruh? This is good news, right? This is good news.
I'd say it's good news.
It's good news. Okay.
Yeah. Because previously, Netanyahu was being criticized by Israelis and other people for not accepting the Hamas ceasefire, which they both finally agreed to on Thursday after 11 days of fighting. And it was just, it took effect at 2 a.m. local time was when the ceasefire took effect. So sounds like there was a little bit of shots fired like around that time, but by the time everyone figured it out in the morning, it was fairly peaceful in the area, relatively speaking. There's still a lot of ruins and injured people in the area, to be clear, but at least for now, the fighting has stopped, and it will probably stay that way for a little bit. What we've seen so far is that basically Hamas has fired over 3,000 rockets, I think close to 4,000 at this point, and the Iron Dome, which is Israel's defense system, has knocked most of those out. But one of the issues with the whole conflict and why they decided to invade Israel is that the Iron Dome defenses are really expensive, and they only have so many. And eventually those run out, and then all those rockets Hamas is firing start hitting downtown Jerusalem and all of that. And from like the Hamas perspective, they still see that as their land, and that their people are being disrespected by the Arabs are being disrespected by other communities in Jerusalem, and so they saw that as this as an attempt to try and create more power for the Arabs. However, what ultimately happened was most of these locations where they were organizing, according to Netanyahu at least, were bombed. There were accusations that some of these places were just apartments. However, it's not entirely clear because both sides claim pretty much the opposite of what it was. So, like Palestine's claims it had several families inside of these and no Hamas, whereas Israel claimed pretty much the opposite. What this ended up was with 230 dead Palestinians, 65 of which were children, a total of 1,700 people wounded, and this is according to the Gaza Health Ministry. There were also 12 people in Israel, and this is according to Israel, that were injured, killed, including a 5-year-old boy and a 16-year-old girl. And just to remind people, there were a few foreign nationals that were killed. There was an Indian national killed in Israel by a Palestinian rocket, which caused some interest from other people. But so far, Biden and Germany have both been very strong in trying to get Israel to declare peace. However, initially Netanyahu told us basically to mind our own business. However, he decided to go for the peace deal now. Now, what this probably came from was that they had a long list of targets they had possibly already formed beforehand, and it's likely Hamas already had targets for their rocket attacks before the incident even started as well. So pretty much it seems like Israel wanted to fulfill all of the targets they had, And once they did that, we're willing to declare peace, and that's where we are right now. Even though there's still a lot of arguments over this, especially in other places. I mean, we just had some violence in the U.S. yesterday over this. But yeah, so actually, it was 2 days ago we had violence in the U.S. But anyway, the hope is that this peace will last. They are going to continue to converse. However, it is just going to be a ceasefire. This probably won't be the end of it for good. It might be the end of it for this year or the season, as pretty much Hamas probably needs more rockets and Israel needs more defensive rockets, and then it'll probably start up again. That's kind of what I see here.
So in other words, you think that, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but you think that there's like a shortage of resources, of weaponry, and that's the reason why they're like, hold on, let me catch my breath kind of thing?
Pretty much, because if we look at what they've expended so far, Palestine's spent over $400,000 in their rockets, and Israel's close to $2 million. However, Palestine doesn't get a whole lot of money. Most of their money comes to aid from the U.S. through Gaza Bank. So one of the speculations is that Iran is funding this because they don't really have $400 million to spend on international weapons. And on the other hand, the Iron Dome defensive system is what's knocking out these rockets, but those missiles are missiles, so they cost more than a rocket. They have guidance systems, they lock onto it, and they go toward and knock it out if they think it's a rocket. So those are even more expensive, and that also means they can only have so many at a time. They only have so many produced, and I'd be surprised if Hamas had many rockets left after this. So I do think ultimately both Netanyahu and Hamas are going to use this period to try and gain support for themselves as political individuals, or the Hamas leaders. I mean, some of them have been killed, so I'm not exactly sure who's in charge right now. But yeah, I think this is just a temporary thing, maybe about another. I could see it stopping for a year. So the U.S. is already talking about sending aid over, which we will. The previous bank that was holding a lot of aid was destroyed. It doesn't sound like the money was lost, though, so it probably wasn't there physically. So the aid will start going through Gaza Bank into the Strip from the U.S., as well as Germany and the UN. And Israel will basically just back off for now. They are pulling back their occupation force, and they sent in the occupation force to find the rockets without bombing people as much. They were only hesitant at first because they didn't want their own soldiers to die, but they did, of course, some of them during the fighting. That's the only way an occupation works.
It's crazy because, as you said earlier, I mean, like, this whole situation is only going to get, I mean, they've stopped for right now. But that is a good theory that they could just be taking a break while they gather up more resources, more weaponry, so that they can start attacking again. Because, I mean, obviously, this is this is a long, drawn-out situation that's been going on between both of them. And it's like, okay, just because they cease fire for right now does not mean that this is done or that they're going to stop for, like, another 10 years or whatever. You know what I'm saying? They could literally be gathering up their resources, trying to get better weaponry, etc. And then this thing could start up in a month. They could literally start up next month. So as much as we are going, okay, yay, as much as we are happy about the ceasefire, it is good news because it's giving people some time to breathe. And actually, it's also giving people time to get the hell out of there, too. Because, of course, we've lost a lot of innocent lives in the crossfires of this whole thing. But that does not mean that they cease fire, does not mean that this is done. Only time will tell over the next few weeks what they end up doing here.
We also have to consider the smaller groups like supremacists in Israel, or maybe Zionist you might call them. I'm not sure, but they're the right wing kind of branch I was talking about before that marched in Jerusalem, attacked Arabs. They were riding on horses and everything. Some Jewish people told me that they're more of a cult than an actual Jewish religion. But I don't know for sure about that. But basically, you have that on one side, and then you have a lot of Palestinians on the other side. And it only takes one person to launch a mortar or a rocket to make Israel start all over again. So even if the government of Hamas and Israel don't want this, they have agents within their own people that aren't going to listen to them, that do want the conflict to continue on. Because like someone said in chat, a lot of people see this as a pretty much the Armageddon conflict, right? Because if Israel builds back the temple, that's supposed to start the Christian apocalypse or something like that, and then that is supposed to trigger the Islamic version of the apocalypse. So, you know, you have all these religions. Same thing with the Judaism. So everyone is kind of looking at the religious view of this is kind of like it is an apocalyptic situation, which is why you get a lot of Zionism and Israel support in the U.S. because there are Christians that see that as the natural evolution of, I guess, their prophecy or religion.
Yeah. Somebody was saying something also as well. Queen Christine said something talk about the Iron Dome.
Yeah, that's the name of the defense system that shoots out the rockets.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's pretty effective. I think around 250 rockets made it through out of the 4,000. Obviously, they did get deaths from that. So it is highly effective. That's why there are so few deaths. If it wasn't for that system, you'd probably be seeing thousands, if not hundreds of thousands dead by now. It's just solely the defense system that has mitigated the rockets from causing massive death.
It's you know, like I said, this is you got one side that's a lot more powerful than the other side. You said how much in weaponry, how much in weapons did they spend on one side? 40,000, and another side was 2 million. If I'm correct, is that what you just said?
400,000.
400,000
Yes.
in comparison to 2
million
million
around there.
I mean, still, that's a large difference in, you know, in what's the word? In weapons. You know what I mean? You know,
and to be clear,
go ahead.
The 2 million does not include the airstrikes or the infantry. It just includes the Iron Dome defensive system. So they spend a lot more on bombs and infantry as well.
Oh man, it's crazy. It's going to be, like I said, ceasefire is always a great thing. I'm glad for the most part, but we're only going to see what's going to happen. I mean, I would hope that they use this time to maybe come to terms with something. But yeah, I don't think things are done over there. I don't think things are done in Israel right now. It ain't over yet. But this time is good for a chance to breathe, get some innocent lives out of the way. Real talk, because that's what we need more than anything. Because there are literally stories and videos. I see countless videos and stories of journalists that are out there covering the things that are going on in Israel and being a part or being only feet, you know, like hundreds of feet away from actual buildings getting bombed right in front of them as they're trying to report what's going on in Israel and the conflict that's going on. You see what I'm saying? So this is a great opportunity, I think, for every person who can leave, who can pack up and get out. This is the time to do so, because I don't think it's going to be over yet. I really don't. You see what I'm saying? So my fingers are crossed for that country and for the people. It's just they're breathing right now. They're catching their breath right now. And I say, the people that are in the middle of the crossfire, get out as quickly as you can. If you can, get out. I mean, seriously, I was just watching just the other day an interview with a Palestinian student and Benjamin Dixon. Shout out to Benjamin Dixon. I'm a fan of the show. But anyway, like he's actually watching this. But anyway, he was interviewing a Palestinian student, and there was bombings that were going off in the middle of her interview with Benjamin Dixon. And that's just a frightening, terrifying thought that you could literally be sitting there doing work, whatever, and be that close to some bombings that are going off. You know what I mean? It's crazy and terrifying. And all I could say is, you know, my thoughts and prayers go out to all the people out there. And I say, strike while the iron is not hot right now. Get out. All right? Get out as quickly as you can, because they're not done yet. They're not done yet at all. And I would just wait. Sit back, wait, and see what happens from this point on. Wait for the dust to settle, because the dust ain't settling yet. So I say that. You know what I mean?
And
go ahead.
Yeah. And this is important for us, too. I don't know if you want to go into that story next.
Yeah,
but,
I was just about to segue into it, but yes. Go ahead.
I was going to kind of lead it in. So basically, we have been seeing this conflict extend to other places. So we've been seeing not just the one we're about to talk about, but we haven't seen violence and protests in the U.S. And there's been a lot of pressure from the left for Biden to act, and a lot of pushback from, I would say, neoliberals in that regard. It's kind of just created a confusion everywhere because, for the most part, neither the U.S. nor even Germany, who has probably higher Israel support than the U.S., none of these populations fully support Israel or Palestine. So it's inevitable that this conflict will spill over everywhere. I mean, Islam is close to the biggest religion, if it's not already. It might be pushing past Christianity soon. And so there are people across the world who are invested in this in multiple ways, obviously. And so we have been seeing pretty much conflicts happen, not just in the U.S. and Germany, but they have been more violent in other places, like, say, Saudi Arabia. There's been minor attacks. Thankfully, the attacks in the U.S. have not been nearly as violent as other places, but unfortunately, it does express itself as basically another form of racism in the U.S., as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and actually, let's segue into that now. Real quick before you jump into that, you sent me the link. Oh, I got it. LA Times article.
Yeah, best watch the video first.
Yeah, hold on. Let me pull this stuff up real quick. So there has been a hate crime in LA, and there was an attack on diners outside of a sushi restaurant by people shouting slogans against Israel is being investigated by the LA police as an anti-Semitic hate crime. The attack came as a deadly battle continued in the Gaza Strip, escalating tensions in the U.S. among supporters of Israel and those who back the Palestinians. And so there's a video capturing part of this attack that happened on Tuesday that shows people in a caravan of cars flying Palestinian flags yelling, "F you," and "you guys should be ashamed of yourselves," as they drive by the restaurant. And then at some point before the attack, which later escalated to kicking and punching, a person is heard yelling, "Israel kills children." So this is obviously, as we have been seeing, I mean, obviously there have been a lot of people that have been waiting to hear other people comment or have conversations about what's going on in Israel right now. Celebrities have finally started to speak out, whether they're for or against it, and it has been extremely polarizing. And like I said, the war that's going on over there has now bled over into America. I mean, we've been talking about it for a solid week now because of all the stuff that's been going on. And so obviously something like this would be expected. I'm not surprised that this is happening now on the U.S. soil. But that's the thing. We have a lot of people out here that feel some type of way about everything that's going on in the world. So this says, obviously, we have not seen this video. I have not seen this video. David may have, but I have not. So just viewer discretion is advised. As it says, warning, this video contains graphic content that may be disturbing to some viewers. So just so you know, viewers discretion is advised. Let's take a look at this. Wow. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
It's the Palestinian flag, by the way.
Hey, free Palestine. It's okay. Oh, the hair got crazy.
Come on now. Is the camera going to come back up?
Yeah.
There we go. Wow. Here we go. So, those are the same dudes that were on the back of that truck. Whoa, really? Whoa. Bruh. This is terrible, y'all. Really? Really? Really, y'all?
Relax.
That was whack, y'all. That was so whack. Not because That was whack because suddenly now we what is this? East side, west side? Like, huh? Really? Really? I mean, in any other situation right now, if there was not conflict going on overseas right now in that country, those people would probably have been at a party or at a bar sharing shots with each other, not even worrying about a damn thing. I guarantee you that. That might be a little bit of a far-fetched idea, but think about it. Think about it. Their political views would not be popping off right now. They would just be chilling, having a grand old time. But because everything's going on, now suddenly they want to start conflict in LA. Stupid. That was stupid, y'all. What do you think? What do you think, David?
Yeah, I agree. It was completely stupid and unnecessary. Unfortunately, I'm not too surprised. I think this is the environment we are in, especially considering all the focus and problems we've had with racism in the past. This does, I think, fundamentally boil down to that. Even though Jewish people are Semitic and so are Arabs, it has become a racial issue over the past, say, 100 years, or I guess since Israel was refounded in 48, I think. So, yeah, I mean, it's just, it doesn't surprise me. We've already been seeing racial violence in the U.S., and this is just an extension of that. Now, it is important to point out that Jerusalem, Israel, and Palestine are neither ethnically pure in either way. However, across most of the world, it has kind of become, I mean, as you've seen, an Arab versus Jew type thing. And the only reason we're not seeing more, I think, Arabic problems with Jews or attacks on them is because Trump did make a deal with the majority of those states to recognize and form actual peace with Israel. So they're no longer in a ceasefire with Israel. They're in actual peace and would have to reignite an entire war to help Palestine at this point, except for Saudi Arabia, who did not choose to participate and are still vocally in support of Palestine.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's a situation that's a huge problem, and you see it spread over into the U.S. So, for the most part, people that support Palestine in the U.S. are actually white people, and the majority who support Israel. Well, I don't know if the majority are minorities, but a large percentage of minorities seem to support Israel over Palestine for some reason. I don't know why these numbers play out the way they do, but that's how it seems to be. And it's pretty much comes down to political lines, too, in the U.S. to make it add even more to our conflicts there. For the most part, the left uniformly supports Palestine, and for the most part, the right uniformly supports Israel. And obviously, there are people within those parties that do not follow that belief. But as far as the leaders go, that tends to be how it breaks down. And most people that recognize as Republican or Democrats tend to follow those leaders and their behaviors.
Yeah, this whole. I mean, I guess we live in that age right now where any excuse that we can find to get angry, get riled up about something, we are going to. But at the same time, like, there is no reason to try to start street fights like this is West Side Story up in this piece. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like it's a huge waste of time. It's unnecessary. It's a waste of time, and violence does not solve any issues, especially when the fighting and the violence is going on thousands of miles away from LA. It has nothing to do with LA. You know what I'm saying? If you feel that type of way about something, then get into a plane and fly over there and you go and join in the fight. That's it. That's it. I think it's ridiculous to try to start fights with people who are just sitting there. I mean, I don't know who started it, how it started, etc., but that inspires those guys to get off the back of that truck to start fighting with each other. One dude picked up a damn pole, whatever those things are called. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Pick up a pole and try to start swinging it at people. Straight up. It went from a tussle to straight up like trying to murder each other real quick. Like I said, this does not work. It's unnecessary. This is not something that we need to be doing to ourselves. Real talk. As a people, okay? I think it's trash. It's absolute trash, y'all. You know what I'm saying? But then again, you know, I stand corrected a lot of times. I don't know. Maybe, you know, I can't tell people what to do. I can't stop somebody from wanting to do whatever it is that they want to do, which is, you know, causing chaos and ridiculousness out in the streets. But I can say this. Hey, you can always take the high road. And getting in a car and driving through through the streets of LA, spouting out just ridiculousness doesn't matter what side you're on, does not solve the issues that are going on overseas. Period. It just doesn't. And I get about getting your voice heard. That's one thing. But when it turns into violence, that's another thing. Then your voice isn't heard anymore. That's just what I think. That's what I think in regards to all that. It's absolute trash. But anyway, we got to go to a quick commercial break. But when we come back, I'll be talking to George Casturos and talking about his latest movie that's about to drop here in the very near future. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. And as long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is going to leave and go somewhere else so we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection. From visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling inside the attic space and looking for animals, chewed wires, fecal matter, chewed structural wood. We inspect everything. Our inspection process covers all of the following 70 points: animal-proof chimney cap, roof ridge vents, roof to soffit junctions, dormer fascia, attic gable vents, gutter lines, fascia trim, garage door, utility penetrations, water, gas, electric, and cable, bathroom vents, attic roof ridge vents, attic electrical, wiring, junctions, boxes, and lighting, concrete decks, additions, wooden crawl spaces, basement plumbing, penetrations, ceiling, floor, and wall. Wildlife Command Center's mission is to deliver the finest quality wildlife removal and pest control service that is safe for the environment. For more information, call us now.
Love, peace, and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so SugarFire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
SugarFire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. SugarFire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring because this man is too exciting as a host. And I'm truly saying this, and if y'all can't do this, me and this man here is gonna leave and go somewhere else where we can get some love. I want everyone in the building to say, I love Pascal on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Wow.
Homeowners and property managers, if you're looking for effective and humane ways to remove wild animals and deal with the damage that they have caused, we have good news for you. Introducing Wildlife Command Center, a professional nuisance wildlife management company specializing in providing animal removal for residential, industrial, and commercial clients. We are the only wildlife company that checks 70 different areas on a structure to determine the answers to the following questions. Exactly which animal are we dealing with? How is the animal getting inside the home? What kind of damage is the animal doing to the structure? Once we get the answers to all of these questions, we develop and write up an action plan to resolve the animal issue completely and provide a quote to implement that action plan. We perform a very in-depth 70-point wildlife inspection, from visually inspecting the highest point, the chimney, to physically crawling.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys for sticking around and being a part of the conversation. I'm sorry it took a minute to get back on here, but my man, my next guest is a very busy man. He's got a lot of things going on and all of that. But before we get my brother, George Casturos, on the show right now, he has a new movie called American Fighter, and you guys get to see the exclusive right here with your own two peepers. Here's the trailer to American Fighter. Enjoy.
You ever heard of underground fighting?
What do you mean?
Any style goes. Two guys go head to head for cash.
You okay? My mother, she's very sick. I need to help, but it's gonna cost so much money. Can you still set up the fight?
Yeah, but you're gonna have to make a little bit of an impression.
Great chat, pal,
Wow. I think he's got potential.
I'm ready to go. Back to the ropes. This is the moment that I was made for. Dodging the blow.
It was my dad.
On the road.
I give you the young lion.
You can hear my warrior cry.
Let me hear you roar.
This is for the glorious side. And everybody standing behind. Victory in our eyes. Put your fists in the sky.
You're being set up, son.
Yeah, how do you know?
It's our time to rise.
Hey, stop the fight.
It's our time to rise.
Tell me how many fingers I got out. It's a trick question. You just got your ass kicked. It's moments like this that define winners and losers. But you gotta look in the mirror and be honest to yourself. Which one of those you are?
Born with the heart of a lion. Fight for the pride. Don't try to define me. No matter your size, the bigger that they are, then the harder I try. Hard nights, days long, no fear, stay strong, on sight, aim drawn, set the stage, game on. It's our time to rise.
Yes. This movie looks redunculous, y'all. Let me just say this really quick. This movie, as you see, comes out today. Okay, so I just want to make sure that is abundantly clear. All right, so for those of y'all who don't know George Casturos, you're about to meet him. He is the star of American Fighter. Please welcome my brother, George Casturos, to the show. How you doing, my brother?
Doing very well. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, man. Anytime, man. I know that you a busy man. You got a lot of things going on right now. First off, man, this movie looks like a lot of fun. Looks like it was a lot of fun to put together. What was it like putting this whole thing together, man?
It was a blast. It was just, the movie's action packed and so was shooting. It was just nonstop fight scene after fight scene after fight choreography. We were training 2 months before the movie nonstop. We were training, me and my co-star were training, like shooting all morning, training at night, still trying to stay in shape for all the scenes the next day. And it was a blast.
Yeah, man. I got to ask you though, was this shot during COVID time? Was this shot during pandemic?
No, it wasn't. It was actually supposed to come out just before pandemic, and then because of pandemic, it was delayed, and so now it's finally coming out. So I'm so excited.
Bruh, you got lucky. You got lucky then. But
I know.
It's kind of like luck, but then not luck at the same damn time because
exactly,
obviously you're like, I can't wait for this movie to come out, and then all of a sudden, damn, I got to do what? You know what I mean?
Exactly. But at least we got to make it. At least COVID didn't stop us from making it. So.
Word. That's facts right there. So I got to ask you, like, what got you into making fight movies to begin with? Because I know that you have another movie called American Wrestler as well. Yeah. What got you into this? The action genre?
Yeah, American Wrestler is actually a prequel to this movie. So this one's part 2 of American Wrestler. And I got into that one just by auditioning for it. I went through like 7 rounds of auditions on that movie. I come from a sports background, not necessarily fighting, but, I played basketball, football, baseball, all the sports you can think of growing up. And so I sort of am a quick study on athletic films. And when I got the script for American Wrestler, I just, went all out training for wrestling to get that role. I got that role. And then now we're doing the sequel. And so started training for that.
That's awesome. So when you say training, what exactly were you training? Like, what were you doing for the training?
For American Fighter, they had me doing 3 workouts a day. In the morning, I would lift because they wanted me to gain about 20 pounds for the role. So I lifted every morning. In the afternoon, I would do some sort of cardio, running or biking on that guy right over there. And then at night, we would do MMA training. So I would do like boxing one night, jiu-jitsu another night, kickboxing, judo. And so each night I would work on a different discipline. And then every day still, lifting and doing cardio throughout the day.
That's crazy, man. And the amount of dedication it takes to do what you do and everything. You know what I mean? How's LA treating you now? What's it like out there?
It's great. It's finally opening back up. Mask rules are coming down. Weather's about to get super nice, so I'm super excited for the summer, and it's great. We just moved to Santa Monica, my wife and I, and we love it.
Oh, nice. Congratulations on Santa Monica. Ooh, look at you. Look at you, Santa Monica. That's very, very cool, man. That's very cool. So what's next? I mean, obviously this movie just came out today, and it's available. Like, where is it available right now? Can you tell us where it's available?
It's available everywhere you rent movies, digital and on demand. It's also in some select theaters across the country, so check your local listings for that. But yeah, anywhere you rent movies, you can rent it today. And then on May 25th, it comes out on Blu-ray and DVD, so you can buy it there.
Very cool.
As well.
Very cool.
Yeah, next for me, I'm working on a few other projects. I just optioned my first script, so I'm going to try to produce a movie later this year called In This Moment. Very excited about it. I just finished filming a Netflix movie yesterday. It's called Eat Your Heart Out. That should be out later this year.
Is that a romance movie or like a horror movie?
Netflix rom-com. It's a lot of fun, great cast, great team around that one. And it's actually directed by the same director as American Fighter. So be sure to check that out. And then a few other things here and there that we're working on, but nothing confirmed yet.
Right on. No, that's exciting, man. That's very, very exciting. I'm happy things are going very well for you. Let me ask you then this, though. Steven Seagal or Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Ooh, Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Why?
Just because I don't know them either personally, but I kind of feel like Jean-Claude Van Damme is a little more of a badass than Steven Seagal.
Yeah, when you see Steven Seagal run, it's a whole other conversation, right?
Yeah, you're like, wait, that's not him in all those fight scenes, is it?
He's supposed to kick ass for real? He kicks ass. Okay, okay. Yeah. Well, hey man, I really do appreciate you coming on and chopping it up with me. I do have a question from the chat because we are live. You know what I'm saying? Awesome. So the family's watching and everything. Tanny Vane, David, one of our co-hosts of the show, said, "How long do they have to practice a fight scene before filming?" That's a very good question.
It's a very good question. Like time-wise, it probably takes a few hours, but it's split up. So like they'll show you the choreography very slowly, and you kind of learn it like a dance, and then like you let that marinate for a little while, and then they show you the day before, and then the next day you kind of speed it up. So I mean, overall, maybe it takes like a day or two, but it's like a couple hours of practice, I would say. But it's honestly like a dance, and you got to know all the moves, and you basically got to know the moves so you don't get hit in the face. So it's like you got to learn it.
Right. You don't want to
messing
mess up the mess.
Yeah.
You don't want to mess up
Yeah.
the money maker, right?
Yeah, I actually almost hit on one of the takes. I almost clocked this stunt guy right in the face, and I nicked his nose, and I was like, and then luckily I just hit the cartilage of his nose, and he was fine. So
Yeah, he's like, ain't nothing. He's
like,
a stunt.
I do this all the time.
Yeah, he's a stunt guy. This ain't nothing. You know what I mean? Getting punched in the face, that's the least of his worries, right? You know.
There actually is a funny scene in the film where there's a slow-mo shot of me punching someone in the face, and it's the director himself getting a cameo, and I actually hit him because he used to be a stunt guy, and he's like, I want you to hit me. And I was like, are you sure? And so I knocked him right in the face. So look out for that shot.
What is this? What is this, Fight Club? I want you to hit me
I know. He's
as
like,
hard
"Do
as
it.
you can.
Hit me." Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Sometimes the director is probably just, trying to, go put himself through pain because of the BS that he has to go through from making a movie, right? So that's crazy. But yeah, I agree. It must have been very fun to punch your boss in the face, though. I mean, to have a job like that, think about it. Just straight right in the face. That must feel so good sometimes. You're like, I wanted a close-up in that last shot, and you didn't give it to me. Bam! See what I'm saying? I should have gotten paid more for this.
In that moment. Yeah. Got him.
Well, George, I really do appreciate you coming on, man. I really do appreciate it. I got to ask you one last time, where can people find this movie, American Fighter, one last time so that they can all check it out?
Yeah, American Fighter is out today on demand and on digital anywhere you rent movies, and it's in select theaters nationwide, so be sure to check your local listings.
Bang! So, guys, go check it out. American Fighter, it is out today. Be sure, if you're going to be doing something like, what are you going to be doing? What are you going to be doing with your weekend? Oh, I know what you're going to be doing. You're going to be checking out American Fighter. All right? Go stream it. Go consume it with your brain. You know what I mean? Use it when you're doing your binge watching. All right? Okay. Anyway, we got to go into a quick commercial break. George, thank you so much for being on. We'll be right back. This is The Pascal Show. Awesome. Bye.
Peace and wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Guy? Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so Sugar Fire.
Yeah.
Fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all of that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have those little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
Sugar Fire, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. Sugar Fire, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
Hey, welcome back, guys. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, sticking around and being a part of the conversation. Like I always say, and I didn't get a chance to say it earlier a second ago because we had our guest and we had to jump in pretty quick and get him out pretty quick because he's going through a lot of interviews right now. Please be sure to crush that subscribe button. I do this show Monday through Friday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you haven't done it yet, crush that subscribe button. Also, please go hit that join button down below. I do this show. And $4.99 a month. Like I said, it's less than the price of Netflix, okay? It gives me an opportunity to fuel this channel so I can keep giving you your stories of the day, all right? And, of course, if you haven't done that yet and enjoyed that interview with George Casturos, please crush that like button down below as well. I got David back with me and everything. We got to jump into one of our last stories, or our last story, really. And this has to do with Princess Diana. Yeah, she's from the grave. She is still something that we, a conversation that we are still talking about. And this interview that she had in 1995 is causing quite a scandal right now. And we got a little bit of a news clip, video clip to check out here, so that we can kind of understand what really is going on here. Let's take a look at what's going on with this whole Princess Diana interview scandal.
The major news from London tonight, the stunning new report out this evening, the inquiry involving Princess Diana and that bombshell 1995 interview. Authorities now say Diana was deceived to get her to sit down for that interview. Tonight, Princes William and Harry responding, some of their most powerful and moving words yet, on the treatment of their mother. Here's ABC's Lama Hassan.
It was called the scoop of the century, getting Princess Diana to talk about her marriage and about the royal family, famously saying this.
Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded.
But tonight, the explosive findings, the investigation into how then BBC journalist Martin Bashir got Diana to talk. An independent inquiry has found that Bashir, among other things, showed Diana's brother fake bank statements in an effort to make Diana believe members of the royal family were paying people to spy on Diana. The investigation finding those falsehoods shared with her brother, quote, deceived and induced him to arrange a meeting. The inquiry finding it was an effort to play into her fears and loneliness to get her to talk. Tonight, that independent inquiry has concluded that Bashir used, quote, deceitful behavior to lure Diana into doing it. Tonight, Princess Diana's brother, Charles Spencer, said Bashir's behavior led Diana to lose trust in key people, breaking down relationships.
Well, the irony is that I met Martin Bashir on the 31st of August, 1995, because exactly 2 years later she died. And I do draw a line between the two events.
Bashir later worked in the US for ABC and NBC News before returning to the BBC, just recently stepping down, citing health reasons. Tonight, Prince William in one of the most scathing and direct statements from him ever.
It is my view that the deceitful way the interview was obtained substantially influenced what my mother said. The interview was a major contribution to making my parents' relationship worse and has since hurt countless others. It brings indescribable sadness to know that the BBC's failures contributed significantly to her fear, paranoia and isolation that I remember from those final years with her. But what saddens me most is that if the BBC had properly investigated the complaints and concerns first raised in 1995, my mother would have known that she'd been deceived.
And Prince Harry here in the US saying late today, our mother was an incredible woman who dedicated her life to service. She was resilient, brave, and unquestionably honest. The ripple effect of a culture of exploitation and unethical practices ultimately took her life. To those who have taken some form of accountability, thank you for owning it. This is the first step towards justice and truth. Yet what deeply concerns me is that practices like these, and even worse, are still widespread today. Tonight, his uncle Diana's brother tweeting this photo honoring her, writing some bonds go back a very long way. Powerful statements from the princes tonight. Now, Martin Bashir says he's already apologized for asking for those bank statements to be mocked up, calling it a stupid thing to do. David.
All right, Lama Hassan at Buckingham Palace. Lama, thank you.
You know, crazy, right? Ain't that a crazy series of events? I mean, to me, I think it's very to think that huge media companies would still go out of their way, right, to sneak around or do. I mean, I'm trying to find the right words to say this, and Mocha's sister just said something. A terrible way to be a journalist. Absolutely. I mean, you know, to think that there is that somebody would go in a sneaky way, right? To obtain an interview with, of course, Princess Diana, is beyond me, to the point where it would mess up tarnish the relationship that she had with her husband at that time. Just whatever. This is just a crazy story. And the fact that this is something that happened in 1995, and now all this stuff is coming to light now, is beyond me. It blows my mind. David, what are your thoughts on this, man? What are your thoughts?
I agree pretty much. This is an example of exactly how not to do journalism. He pretty much faked everything. And I have a little more details from the BBC. That basically...
he fakes everything, man.
Yeah.
And I get it. And I get you want to do... Sorry, we'll get to that BBC side of it. But real quick, it's like, I get that some, you're going, hey, it's Princess Diana. I'm going to do whatever by any means necessary to get in the room with her type of thing. But still, you are still with a credible news junket, a media junket. You don't think that, I don't know. It's just crazy to me that you would falsify, fake certain things just so you can be in the same room with her. It's creepy. It's creepy. Sorry. What's the information with the BBC?
So the BBC says that originally they did perform a mocked up graphic of the bank statement that he used to pretty much get into there through her brother. Mm-hmm. So they've admitted that they faked it themselves. Like, not even that he did it, they did it. They were inside, they were in the deal with him. They were the ones that made some of these fake documents, or at least they were aware of them and kind of supported him on that. And the BBC, of course they came under fire for that immediately. And now they claim that they basically did not treat Mr. Bashir's account with necessary skepticism and caution, especially after admitting that the bank statements were fake, and they had no reason to believe in his credibility. And they go on to say, without justification, the BBC fell short of the high standards of integrity and transparency which are its hallmark. Since then, the BBC has said that they've had clear failings at the time, mm-hmm. and now that they have better procedures in place, and that this interview would have been prevented with their modern policies. So they've just been apologizing over it. They do recognize that they faked it, but they don't really seem to want to do anything about it. Also, there was a few things from the interview. Like, this interview was already a pretty controversial thing at the time. And it seems like during that interview, she mentioned that Prince Charles was having an affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. And she's basically said that there was 3 people in their marriage. And she suggested that Prince Charles might not be able to be the king, mm-hmm. and that he was waging a war against her. So this was the first time any royal had come out publicly speaking against the royal family. This is where a lot of the conspiracies are possibly truth, that she was killed by somebody related to the royal family come from, because she's basically doing what Harry kind of is doing now, is pointing out a lot of the problems within the royal family that the royal family doesn't want people to know, even though this was obtained illegally. And it's also possible that he pretty much, this isn't confirmed, but that he took some of the segments that were supposed to be confidential, like not on the record, and showed those on the record anyway. And that's why a lot of the controversy came out, because she didn't want necessarily everything that she said to come out, and the things that she did want to come out pissed off the royal family anyway.
Yeah, I think it's this whole situation is really messy, obviously. But if you really think about it, with Prince Harry, obviously, those conspiracy theories about her death, what caused her death, if she was actually murdered or if it was just an accident, obviously, even Prince Harry has been sitting here. He's been bit at least by the conspiracy bug. He has that theory of, no, my mother was killed. And I could see the same path. I could see the same, like, the breadcrumbs are leading down the same path for my wife. That's why we left. I don't feel comfortable about said thing. So if he himself, like, and we've talked about this before, when they both had that incredibly controversial interview with Oprah Winfrey, he clearly was saying this then too, where it's like, hey, I don't feel comfortable with what's going on in the royal family. That's why we are leaving. That's why we left the country, because I see the breadcrumbs leading down the same path as to what happened to my mother. And I don't want the same thing that happened to my wife or myself. And so he moved. He left. So I understand that that concern and that paranoia for sure. That makes sense, but obviously he knows something. He's got to. He's got the inside scoop on what's going on. So he knows something. Same thing with Prince William. They know something that's going on. Hence the reason why you have somebody like Prince Harry dipsetting quick. Clearly there's something deeper than this. Now, it's funny because I'm glad you clarified it when she said the whole, in this relationship, there's 3 people in this relationship. When I first saw that, because I don't remember that interview. I'm going to be really honest. You know what I'm saying? It was 1995. I don't remember that interview. But at the same time, when she said that, I thought she was referring to the paparazzi. That's what I thought. But once you clarified it, I was like, okay, now it makes sense to me. You see what I'm saying? But when she sat down, or when I saw the clip, I was like, oh, she's talking about the paparazzi. And then, of course, remember, this is what happened, or allegedly what happened, that paparazzi was following her in her car. It was a high-speed chase that somehow the car lost control and crashed into, under that underpass. That's the speculation. And they were saying it was all because of paparazzi. So I thought that's what she was alluding to. But if it has to do with her affair, or with the affair that Prince Charles was having, that's a whole other conversation in itself, right? But
I mean,
yeah. Go ahead, David.
I don't know if this is a law in the UK or anything, but in the US that would have violated pretty much the Good Samaritan law. We were supposed to help people that are dying. Instead, they just stayed there and took photos. I don't know if that's illegal in England or the UK, but it should be. They would have probably been prosecuted in the US for that, which would have been appropriate, I think.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you on Prince Harry. It wasn't too long ago that he said someone jumped in their yard and ran up to take a picture of their I don't remember the gender, but their child, and pretty much took that picture as son.
Mm-hmm.
And then afterward, Harry said that the people that do that have a good chance of getting shot because he has the guards around him, and that's kind of like their directive is to keep people away from his children, because he does kind of expect not just paparazzis, but someone that might actually want to harm his child or kidnap it even, the boy. So it's I mean, he does have some of the same fears that Princess Diana was having, and considering that the royal family generally came out against him, at least publicly, I agree. He's pretty much going down the same path as what Princess Diana did. I don't necessarily think it will play out the same way, though, because there's much easier to get information out now than it was in the 1995s. So he's already, we already know what's going on with him, whereas with Princess Diana, we didn't find out a lot of it until afterward. So by having his information out there now, people are keeping an eye on it, and hopefully, if Diana's death was planned, this kind of prevents it from affecting him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we live in a world now, 2021 is the year of receipts. Let's just be real. 2020 and 2021 have been the years of receipts, and it's been even more now than ever. And I feel like more of the truth of what happened back then will hopefully come to light. I think that there are certain things that, like I said before, I think certain things that Prince Harry has said, I think that sooner or later we're going to see that he's not crazy. Everybody out there is thinking, he's just talking crazy. He's got that crazy wife with him, therefore he's talking crazy, blah, blah, blah. Well, We live in the era of receipts, and those receipts are going to come out. We're already seeing this story with it's 1995, and that information is now coming out more than ever. The truth behind that interview. It's crazy, y'all. It's absolutely crazy. So, for him to sit here and say the things that he's saying, now you kind of go, well, is he really that crazy for thinking what he's thinking? You sure about that? Because I beg to differ. Like I said, the truth, whatever's in the dark, shall come to light. And I really do think that this is something that is still developing. And we're going to find out more and more information and more truths here. I mean, you know, it just really depends on how much information they're willing to leak out and how much of the truth is going to come out. But, you know, this is one of those great mysteries of, was it an accident? Was it a premeditated thing? What's the real story here? What's the true story with what happened to her? And it's sad because, like I said, you know, she was very candid. At some point, she didn't give a damn. You see it. You saw it in her face when she's talking about that stuff. You see it in her face. She's tired. She's worn out, and she's like, F it, I'm going to speak my truth. And she did that. Unfortunately, that seemed to backfire. It seemed to have a side effect, which resulted in her death. It's a damn shame, y'all. It's a shame. Siri just said it's just a shame it took so long to be dealt with, and the journalist in question was never held accountable. He had a full career and no repercussions for his unethical behaviors. You know what? I totally agree. We have somebody out here that was doing all those things. I mean, he was the man stirring the pot. It wasn't Princess Diana. And yet, still to this day, he's not getting any repercussions, like she said, for his unethical behaviors. It's crazy. Go ahead, David.
And, I do want to point out that BBC is not like any news in the U.S. They are actually established by Royal Charter within the UK, and they are controlled partially, or at least have an agreement with the Secretary of it's like State Communications or something like that. So even then, the BBC was fundamentally working for the government, and you do see this sometimes in modern articles, especially military ones. They always take the British perspective. Of course, it's not too surprising. It is a state-funded news network, so it's particularly like incredulous that they faked this, and the people in control of the BBC knew they faked this while being tied directly to the government, and yet they acted against Diana, and no repercussions ever came from that. So it does add to this this weird aspect that the state-funded news is responsible for exposure and a lot of harassment. And the BBC acknowledges this, but somehow it stops there. It doesn't go up to the fact that it is a government, it's partially controlled by the government. And that's one thing I don't see talked about too often, because the state was the one controlling, to some degree, that information coming out, and to how long people were able to stay there, because it's under the Secretary of State's power to at least have influence, or at least come in and say that people should resign or something like that. And this never happened. So I mean, I might be over analyzing this here, but it suggests to me that the government did have some sort of complicity in getting this, and pretty much having this interview leaked, and ultimately leading to her death.
It is a very, very messed up and sad thing that how this whole thing has transpired. This is a situation that I feel like it should not have happened. And what you said, completely, totally, I'm totally with David. But I just think that they really need to look into what's going on here. And because you got to you got to realize that if this has happened one time, this has probably happened a bunch of other times. let's be real. This is probably not a situation that's happened. Oh, we got away with it once. No, hell to the no. You know, for a fact, other situations have happened. They apparently, Tammy from the block said this happened to Michael Jackson as well. Like this whole situation happened to Michael Jackson as well. So like I said, this is not the first time. This ain't their first rodeo. They've done this multiple times. And I get it. The need, the passion behind wanting to get the story, wanting to break a story, wanting to be one of the first to get that exclusive. But there's ways to do that. There are proper ways of doing that. And they did not do anything proper in this situation. And that's absolutely 110% trash, in my personal opinion. And they should, even though that this is something that happened in 1995, Bashar should definitely be held accountable for what he has done. Also, BBC. The BBC should be held accountable for what they have done as well. Period. I would feel like they looked at this, they saw what was going on, and they turned a blind eye. Either they turned a blind eye or they said, just do it. Bashar, just do it. Ignore it, just do it. It's the queen. It's the princess. Sorry, it's Princess Diana. Come on. Let's go. Just do it. That's wrong. So you know for a fact they did this more than just once, which is trash. Anyway, I wonder what's going to happen next, because obviously this is something that's only been developing for the past 2 days. And so we're going to have to see what's going on with that. Brother Pascal, as was pointed out earlier, the BBC is owned by the British government, who will hold them accountable. You know what? That's a good question, The Pioneer. That's a damn good question. That's a good question.
Theoretically, the Queen has the power to remove, like the secretary and magistrates, though in the past it's always been at most a suggestion. I think it's happened once, but other than that, it's usually through the Parliament that makes most of her desires into law instead of her trying to push them directly into law. So, yeah, I don't know who you would go to there, because most of the people that closely watch the royals are considered royal experts and already have a strong desire to make them look good. I mean, we saw this with the Merkel review, or not review, interview. Yeah.
There you go. I'm here for you, buddy. I'm here.
Yeah. So like with that, where they basically said they saw her interview and then commented on it before the interview was even released or done, before it was even recorded. So
That's
they didn't
true.
even know it was on it. So, I mean, we already have, those are the people that theoretically have the most knowledge about the royal family, and they have consistently shown that they are most likely to lie to maintain what they think is important within the royal family, some sort of genetic idea that they have about the royal family. So, yeah, I mean, some of those were the BBC as well. So, I mean, we're still seeing the same issues where they're state funded but fabricating things about state individuals. It's
right.
It's not good.
Something,
obviously.
Yeah, something ain't right. Something's funky. Something's definitely funky. And then on top of that, yeah, the fact that it is, run, financed, is just it's a creepy thought. Long story short, I mean, it's like who's watching them, right? Who's watching the Watchmen kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. It's Lorraine said the royal family is not a family, it's a business. Yeah, well, she ain't wrong. She ain't wrong on that comment. I mean, as we start to see more and more, like I said, that interview with Oprah, I'm surprised Oprah's still alive. I'm sorry, but it's so insane. It is so insane. Like they're talking about the mob. You know what I mean? It's like they're talking about the mob, and she just said, Meghan and Harry just dropped the bomb on the mob. You know what I'm saying? On some crazy organized crime type ish, and then next thing you know, they're dead. You know what I mean? It's like I said, this is absolutely nuts. And it's a terrible situation. and they should be held accountable. The BBC and Bashar should be held accountable for what they've done. And we got to see what's going to happen. You know what I mean? We're just going to have to see what happens. You know, because I know the prime minister has spoken out about this as well. What did he say? Let me pull that up really quick. Let me make sure I got that real quick. He said, what did he say? 1 second. I had it, now it's gone. Dagnabbit, where is it? I don't have it. I lost it. Wait, maybe I do have it here. Come on. I thought I had it, but now it's gone. It just said like something along the lines of they should be held accountable for this, and that it's just unbelievable. Where is it? I lost it, man. I had it, but now, like, because I've been popping up other things, now it's gone. Damn it. But anyway, long story short, this is a story and a piece of information that is absolutely sad. Absolutely sad. Absolutely messed up. And these are people that should be, people out here should be held accountable for what they've done. Long story short. So with that being said, I mean, we're only going to find out what's going to happen as time progresses here. Like if they're going to do anything, you know, if Bashar is going to be held accountable for what he has done, you know, for what, you know, if they're going to throw him under the bus, or are they going to hold the BBC in general accountable for what happened? I have a feeling, I'll just say this out loud, I do have a feeling that they're going to throw our boy Bashar, no, he's not our boy, but you know what I'm saying. They're going to throw Bashar under the bus. That's what I think was going to happen. He's going to be the fall guy for this whole situation. He's the one in the interview. He's the one throwing out the questions. He's the one who got it all put together. He's going to be the fall guy for this. But that doesn't mean anything. He's obviously stepped down. He's not going to lose anything. Shoot. He stepped down for health reasons. So he ain't even, like, even so, if he was to get reprimanded for what he has done, it's already too late. Some people have already said it's too little too late. And I agree. It's already too late. Like, what are they going to do to a man who is saying he stepped down for health reasons? He doesn't have a job that they're going to strip him from. Like, what are they going to do? Throw him in prison? Throw him in jail? Okay. That's about it. I mean, that's all you can do. What's done is done. If this was caught years before in 1995, then this would be a totally different conversation. But this may be a too little too late situation. David, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say that the BBC's charter was renewed in 2016, which ended up providing more government oversight. So Ofcom is the independent regulator of the BBC. However, the renewal of the charter allows them to provide guidance to Ofcom on all content requirements. So basically, they set the standard for Ofcom, and then Ofcom sets the standard for the BBC on what they can and cannot push through. So this was a change in 2016. Before that, it was a little different in that the secretary could only provide guidance. Well, I mean, this is what this is still saying, guidance, but it's that generally guidance from the highest political authority means you follow that, especially on the media with them being able to set content requirements. So the oversight is technically run by civilians. However, the civilians who work there are guided by the government on what content standards they should have. So, and they ended up changing kind of the mission statement to try to pretty much include this idea of being impartial now, which was not necessarily in the original charter. So things have changed. And of course, I mean, we've seen this in most situations where the government gives people money but doesn't necessarily have the legal right to tell them what to do, they still tell them what to do, and they do it usually. Especially since you have these, like I said, the changing of the charter in 2016, letting them direct Ofcom, especially through the Secretary of State to Ofcom to the BBC.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Burr said, don't they have a statute of limitations? Yeah, get over it already. I mean, this is, like I said, I mean, this is a very interesting story. Obviously, I think it's very important in regards to the safety of the other members of the royal family as well that may not have any ties to anything that happened to Princess Diana. And I think that I think that they need to get down to the bottom of this and reprimand whoever needs to be reprimanded and keep it moving, or restructure or give a good look at what's going on. You see what I'm saying? In regards to the BBC and how it's all being run and all that. I mean, like I said, this is something still in development. This is still something being investigated into, Yeah.
I mean, this is hardly unique to the UK. I mean, we have our own scandal going on, at least if you care about CNN. But so Washington Post, which is another liberal magazine or paper, so is CNN, pretty much exposed CNN because their reporter Cuomo was pretty much advising his brother, the governor of New York, on what kind of stories they had coming in, and they were. So he was basically telling his brother what he should do and giving him all this information about the news that they had. So, yeah, I mean, we already see this problem in our own country. So it's hardly unique to, say, royal families and royal government. I mean, modern royal governments, at least.
Right.
This is still a problem we have just with independent organizations that don't necessarily have to even do that. And in the U.S., we do have different rules. So entertainment media does not need to necessarily report the truth. It's not a requirement. And so they're not going to be held accountable for that ever. It's just not the way it works in our country. The news is allowed to get away with those things. However, I think, if the press across the world tries to regain credibility they've lost before, they are kind of trying to be more transparent and open about this, especially with the diminishing trust in the news over the past 8 years, maybe 12 years, not just in the U.S., but across the world, we see it increasing considerably.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, we have, and there's all kinds of scandals like that across the country with, people trafficking news reporters and the government officials trafficking money back and forth. It's been a problem for a long time. It's not unique to the UK, but in this case, it's very important to the Princess Diana story.
Yeah. And the whole Cuomo situation too. Yeah, it can be seen as shady dealings for sure. I mean, yeah, we definitely have our own issues going on in our own media, in our own news and media junkets as well. But yeah, you said something that's very true, and actually the Pioneer just said something. You said something very important. Entertainment does not have to report the truth, and that's exactly what you have in the newsrooms or in most newsrooms. Entertainment instead of actual news, and that's actually very true too. Like you got some place like Fox News that's saying that they're an entertainment network, rather than saying that they are a news network. But that's the loophole that they can jump through, right? So that they can say whatever the hell they want, pretty much. It's very interesting. It's very interesting because then, you got these stories that can go with, you can go this way or that way. You know what I'm saying? And bend the truth for the sake of entertainment. So then it's like, okay, so are we only supposed to watch our local news and that's it? Because, we got people who listen to or watch CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, all these channels that say that they're a reliable news source. But if they're all sitting here saying that they're entertainment only, then that's another conversation in itself, my brothers and sisters. And that's kind of scary. And we've seen it. Like me and David have talked about this behind the scenes and actually on the show before too, where you have places that say that they are credible sources, credible news place, and they'll sit there and they won't quote the thing right, or they have the wrong type of information, etc. And it's kind of like, well, damn, it's terrible. And yes, I agree. Siri just said most news is commentary, but viewers do not always distinguish the two. That is a problem, and I do agree with that as well. That is true. You do have a lot of on CNN. You'll have the such and such expert of this and expert of that and blah blah blah. Politician here and politician there, and they all come on 4 faces on one screen, and they put in their own 2 cents about what's going on. But yeah, that's true. Not all of it is really them talking about the news. They're commentating. So yes, I guess in a way, technically it is entertainment, I guess. David.
Yeah. And I mean, that's very much true that, I can't even remember their names, but like all the big, like Fox, people that generally give reports and information, they're not reporters, they're commentators. Like even Tucker Carlson, yeah. And,
Sean Hannity,
yeah, and there's another guy
guys.
Too.
I'm trying to remember the guys' names. I don't watch Fox News enough.
Yeah,
really, I don't watch Fox News enough. Period.
Yeah, but really, that's what you see, especially during the morning shows and the afternoon shows. As far as news goes, it's generally commentary on the news. It's not reporting the news. It's talking about what they think about the news.
True. I mean, that's basically what we do here too. You know what I'm saying? We're commenting. We're pulling out the news. We're talking about things. Like we pull out things like from NPR and Associated Press and other credible places. But we also are commentating. We are talking about those things. But yeah, go ahead, David.
Yeah, I mean, the difference is we're a talk show. It's like the same as The View talking about the news or a night show talking about the news. That's obviously entertainment. And while we try to be accurate and give accurate information, it's still ultimately a talk show. So we don't necessarily have the resources of a news agency, nor do we have the responsibilities because we don't have those resources or some of the easy passes you can get. And but the difference is a lot of the times the media, specifically television media, will focus on the accuracy and the truth of their news as they claim it, and then they'll follow it up with commentaries instead of actual news. So they give the impression that the commentators are news without directly pointing out that they're without directly saying they are, because that would be a lie. So they just kind of slip that in, and then they have ads in between talking about how all their news is accurate and truthful. And it's not just Fox that does this. We see it on all the other major ones as well.
Word.
I'm just pointing it out here, but yeah, it's a major problem.
It is a major problem. Siri just said the Pascal show, the important thing is that you don't misrepresent yourselves as something you are not. And that is very true. We're not out here sitting here going, we are the #1 news place. No. We're like, hey, we're here to talk about ish, speak our minds about it.
Yeah.
It's commentary. You know what I mean? It's opinion. But I would never sit here and go, we're the news source. Like, F that. If you want the news, go watch your local news network. You know what I'm saying? What were you going to say, David? Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to say there's only 2 of us. I mean, we can only do so much. So, like, if we have a big article to talk about, that's going to take almost all day of our research. So we can't talk about every news article with the depth that we can talk about some of the subjects we do. That's why we pick specific ones, because we can't cover everything in a meaningful way.
Man, if I only could find like 17 producers for this show that are just digging for all the, you know what I'm saying? For all the information, etc., giving us all the background stuff, all the articles, etc., and we just go in there. Brow, man, we would be unstoppable. But that's baby steps. You know what I'm saying? That is something that's going to take some time. Baby steps. We need like one huge sponsor that's going to drop like 6 figures on the show, and then I think we would have this without a problem. Easy peasy. Without a problem. But, we do what we can with the 2 of us, sometimes the 4 of us, you know what I mean? being on the show and just being able to chop it up. You know what I mean? But, you know, I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, I would not have this any other way. Journalist, the Pioneer, real quick, and then we got to wrap up. But the Pioneer said journalists must be licensed and are held to a different standard than typical talk show hosts. I can get on YouTube and make videos giving my own opinion. Absolutely. That's hard facts. Lax Payne said the news didn't used to have a profit motive. It used to be a public service, and that's absolute facts as well. But at the same time, you know, Tracy H volunteers. I'm always looking for people to help out with the show. I mean, you know, didn't mean to have this turn into something like, you know, something on a selfish tip. But yes, I'm always looking for somebody, for more people to help with the show and contribute more research, background stuff. I'm always looking for a researcher, etc. I mean, you know, there's only so much that me and David can do on the regular. So I'm always looking for somebody or some people to help. You know what I'm saying? Drug pushers destroy lives. That's absolute truth. Pascal, do you like the Young Turks? Yeah, I do like the Young Turks to a certain extent. Yes. Now, I am no way, shape, or form wanting to be the Young Turks. They have their own lane. They're like a CNN. Literally, they are a CNN, and I'm not trying to be CNN. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be me. I'm trying to be the Pascal Show is going to be its own entity. You see what I'm saying? And also, like I said before, you know, not every day am I talking about wars going on in, you know, Israel or you know, Biden doing this or Trump being investigated with that. I'm also talking about things that are going on that's a little bit more lighthearted or a little less heavy, you know, more pop culture stuff. So, you know, my show is, you know, a variety of different things. And I know that the Young Turks stick to one realm. And I'm like, and I don't want to be that person. You know, I don't want to be that show. The Young Turks exists for a reason. That's not me. But go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily like their show. I've watched it quite a few times, though. I think that they just became, during the Trump era, they just started kind of sticking to one side without covering things that much in depth. And then immediately after Trump was gone, they just didn't know what to talk about anymore or how to accurately cover stories. So it kind of looks... I'd say they ruined themselves by focusing on Trump too much, basically, and now they don't know what to do, and that's kind of the impression I get from them. But they do put good work into their show. I just don't think it's. I think it has a bias, and they intentionally have a biase.
Yeah,
that's the way I see it.
How can you? But here's the thing, though. Let's talk about that really quick. How can you not have a bias? Like we talk about have a bias. We go on here. We talk about whatever it is. I mean, yes, we're not always on one side, though. I mean, there's certain times when we're looking at a video or a shooting or something like that, and we may go against the grain. You see what I'm saying? Of what, let's just say, what we would normally maybe side on. But that's what's so exciting. I mean, at least that's my personal opinion. That's what makes this show so exciting, because you never know if David's going to be on one side or if I'm going to be on the same side, or if we're, you know what I'm saying? Or if we're going to be on opposing sides. You know, that's the one thing that I do appreciate about this show is that it is not just, yes, we do lean towards one side mainly, but when it comes to certain situations, we are still leaning, we still are bouncing back and forth, you know? And then also on top of that, I mean, for me, obviously, I'm obviously biased. Get it? Because it is my show and everything, and I'm supposed to like my show. If I didn't like it, I wouldn't be doing it. But one thing that I like about this is that, yeah, we bring up a conversation and we're like, nah, that ain't cool. I'm not with that. Or, you know what I'm saying? We bounce back and forth. You know what I mean? So that's what I need for me. You know what I mean? What? Sorry, I just saw something from Kiki of 5. Pascal, you should have done a deep dive into the story of the lady who got hit with a roll of meat. I ain't never heard of that in my life. What is that story?
Funny.
You saw that?
It's like a foot-long sausage she hit some dude with at a grocery store.
Wait, she says of a lady who got hit with a roll of meat. Somebody send me this video because now I want to see it for myself. The hell is this? I haven't seen this. This is news to me. But you see what I'm saying? Like, you don't see the Young Turks. No offense. Like, I ain't throwing no shade to no Young Turks. I got mad respect for them. They do their thing, and they give us the news. Some people like it, some people don't. But at the same time, one thing about this show, without a shadow of a doubt, we will throw out some random ass. You see what I'm saying? On this show. We could talk about hate crimes in LA and Gaza, ceasefire, and then the next thing you know, some girl throwing a sausage in some dude's face, or a girl getting hit in the face with a foot-long sausage. And no, this ain't what we saw on P-Hub. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I, do. You know what I mean? Pascal, oh, that's nice. The Pioneer said, Pascal, you have an innate talent to discuss anything, including controversial topics, without angering people. That's what you got. That's why you got my attention initially a few weeks ago. Well, the Pioneer, I appreciate that, man. Or I appreciate that. I really do appreciate that, and that's the whole thing, being able to talk about anything. And I know that there's a lot of other channels that stick with one thing and one thing only. And that's why they, grow so incredibly fast, because they only talk about one thing or they side with one side. And I'm like, well, I want to talk about those things that people wake up in the morning and read about or talk about. And that's everything. That could be everything from Kirk Franklin to some woman getting slapped in the face with a foot-long sausage. It's everything. She said ground beef. It's ground beef.
Okay. I just found it. It's 10-pound log of meat at Walmart, as they call it.
Okay. Hold up. You guys are messing me up. Well, we needed some Freaky Friday. So did you send it to me or?
I sent a video, but I didn't actually see it in there. I'm trying to find the.
Oh, okay. Here it is. Hold up. Oh my. Okay, hold up. I got the. So it shows the video of her getting hit with a.
I'm not sure. That's what I was looking for. That still.
I did not go. Okay, Tammy from the block. I didn't go straight to sausage. David said sausage. I was just repeating what he said, man. Okay. Hold up. Meat. Hold up. Maybe this is just the article itself explaining it real quick.
Yeah.
Hold on.
So.
An unusual weapon. That's funny. Hold on. An unusual weapon used in a fight at a supermarket in the U.S. state of Ohio. One of the women hit the other with, and this says 10 kilograms or 10 pounds of mince meat. So the incident at a Walmart, the world famous supermarket chain, this is from overseas for sure, in Cleveland, Ohio, caused a stir. An argument between two women who came to the supermarket to shop on May 11th, so 10 days ago, quickly turned into a violent brawl. In the fight, the 25-year-old woman hit another woman in the face with a 10-pound meat packet. Yes, and this is not from P-Hub. Anyway, the woman who was attacked issued a temporary restraining order against the 25-year-old through a court. Like I said, this is from overseas. The attacker's daughter was placed in the care of another family after the incident. The victim had issued a temporary restraining order against the 25-year-old before the incident. Oh. So the victim had issued a temporary restraining order against the 25-year-old before the incident, according to teams from South Euclid Police. When they confronted each other at the grocery store, I'm sorry, this is too funny. When they confronted each other, what did they send a tweet going, meet me at the Walmart on Euclid Road in Cleveland. You know what I'm saying? And we're gonna hash it out on public ground. Anyway, when they confronted each other at the grocery store, the suspect threatened to beat up the other woman and her 7-year-old daughter. Police then detained the 25-year-old woman. It later emerged that she, I guess, had been detained for other reasons. The attackers 5-year-old daughter. Wow, this is completely. I'm assuming there's a lot of typos in here. The attacker's 7-year-old daughter was also temporarily placed in custody of another family by authorities. Wow. Okay, so that article just kind of repeated itself over and over and over again, but that's fine. We're going to go over here and look at this thing. Woman gets hit in the face with meat. 10 pounds of meat. Get ready for some food porn.
An Ohio woman was arrested this week after she had quite the beef at Walmart. Police say a fight broke out between two women who had a protection order against each other. This argument happened in the potato chip.
I'm sorry. Oh my God. This thing. Hit her in the face with this ish. Okay, hold up. We got to rewind it back. Don't you love it when TV journalists and anchors get to like play with like pun it up? You know what I mean? They're so punny. They get to pun it up. They're like, ooh, yay. You know what I mean? Let's pun it up today. Go ahead. I'm sorry, David.
It's always the like most obvious pun too. They don't put any thought into it.
No, there's no thought into it.
First thing that comes to mind.
You know what I mean? They're just like, ooh, yeah.
Walmart. Police
Talk
say
about
a fight
beef.
broke out between two women who had a protection order against each other. This argument happened in the potato chip aisle. Security footage caught one woman spitting on the other, who then responded by hitting the woman in the face with a 10-pound log of prepackaged meat. The woman who swung the meat was arrested and charged with assault.
Now here's the thing though. Where's the video though? There's no video? I thought there would be a video or something, man.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Come on, I wanted to see, big old log of meat slapped into this woman's face. Where is it? Come on, y'all. That breaks my heart. I was so excited about that. I was ready to see her just get walloped. You know what I'm saying? Now, one thing I'll say is this though. Spitting has become the biggest like thing in the world now. You know what I mean? Like it's the whole. I hope you get the Rona. You know what I mean? Like I'm gonna spit on you in hopes that you get the Rona from my spit. Nowadays, I've seen more and more people spitting on each other than actually throwing bows. And when I say bows, I mean elbows. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Putting the paws on you. I just find it very interesting that people are so quick to go, thuh, F you, thuh, every time. I don't get why. It is the newest trend now. Instead of throwing bows on you, instead of putting the paws on you, they want to spit that saliva on you in hopes that you get the Rona. It's so jacked up. It's so jacked up. What are you going to say, David?
I just basically agree there. I think a lot of it is people that come from like nicer areas and don't realize that if you spit in someone's face, they're most likely to knock you out or something. That's my guess. I don't know.
Man, that's just hilarious. But there should have been a video. I was hoping to see a video. Damn it.
I wanted to see that 10 pounds of meat too.
Yeah, you wanted to see that 10 pound of meat getting smacked in the face. Yeah, you know what I mean? Beef smacking. I should do a beef smacking skit. Yeah, you know what I mean? You dirty birds. But yes, man, there you go. That's interesting. I'm sorry. I was just reading the Pioneers thing. On broadcast network television in 2021, you still can't show a bare butt, but they have CSI shows showing brains and guts splattered all over the screen. That's very true. That's very, very true. You know, it's weird how how hypocritical, I guess, it is in a way.
And the SEC will find you for that stuff too. Like if you show more than, I don't remember the numbers exactly, but if you show more than like 60% or 50% of the butt, then it's illegal and you get fined. But if you show less of that, you only show half the butt, it's okay. It's only when you have both cheeks together, I guess, that it's a problem.
That's weird, right? It's weird.
Right.
It's really, really weird what you can say and what you can't what you can show and what you can't show. But then, you know, if it's like a woman wearing a thong, it depends on how much of the thong is covering the butt cheeks. If it's a full-on G-string, then it's a hell no. But if it's like a thong-ish type photo where it's 3/4 of the butt is being exposed, and you see what I'm saying? Then you can show it that way. It's so weird. It is so weird, the guidelines and whatnot. That's why I'm just like, when all else fails, you just cover it. You just put a mosaic on it and or blur it out and just call it a day. You know what I mean? Because you just never know. You never know what is okay and what's not okay. You know, especially when you're showing this on the news or, you know, whatnot. But yeah, man, I was hoping for. Hold up. Let me see if I can find this before we leave, before we sign off. Woman hit with 10-pound meat. Nope. This is all just hearsay. This is all just a story that's being reported, but they don't show it. They're talking about it. People are talking about it. The news has covered it, but they are not showing any footage of said thing. But yeah, this happened about a week ago, y'all. This happened about a week ago. Interesting, y'all.
And,
well,
there's one thing.
Shoot.
For people that like the Tiger King, apparently they just yesterday, I think it was, they ended up capturing around 69 cats were seized from Jeffrey Lowe. I haven't seen the show, but apparently he's in the show. So if you've seen him, he just had 69 big cats taken from him across the country.
Wow.
So, maybe Tiger King 2 season 2 will be coming or something.
That's hilarious. Well, I mean, he's locked up. So he didn't get the pardon, so I don't think it's going to be happening. He's like, please, Lord, let there be a video. Yeah, I'm waiting for that video. If it comes out, we'll watch it. We will most definitely watch it for sure. We'll watch it. But yeah, the other thing, remember when we did about last week, there was a video about a cat or a tiger that was let loose, right? And then the owner came and got him, and then he sped off. Well, that cat. Well, the guy actually got arrested because he was like there was a warrant out for his arrest for something like attempted murder or something crazy like that. But anyway, the tiger went missing again, but they actually ended up catching the tiger about a few days ago because this tiger was roaming the town. Chilling, you know what I mean? Which is insane, you know.
It is.
That
seems
insane.
like the who's doing this? Like law enforcement, led by the Department of Justice, seems to kind of be pushing down on this a lot more lately, and they are pretty much targeting everyone that was in that Netflix show because they recorded themselves committing crimes. So now they're going around and arresting people for that and freeing the cats because they recorded all their crimes and put them in a TV show.
Yeah. Isn't that funny? Yeah, let's do this. I'm going to be a superstar. Not really. You're going to be known, but you're going to be known as being a criminal, and you're going to get your ass locked up. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Anyway, guys, we got to get going. That's the show today. I really appreciate everybody for being on. You know what I'm saying? Chopping it up and talking. David, thank you so much for coming on and being on the show.
Yeah, man, it was a fun show today.
Yeah, it was fun. A little bit laid back, a little bit not at the same time. Big thank you to George Casturos for being on the show. Be sure to check out American Fighter. He's got some stuff going on, and that movie looks like a lot of fun. It is out now. It came out today, so go and check it out on all major streaming sites or streaming platforms. So go and check that out. But anyway, it looks like I will not be on tomorrow, but I may do an earlier speak on it Saturday. If I end up doing that, I will let you guys know probably by this afternoon. So I will send you guys a message on the community page and our Discord. So be sure to keep your eyes open on Discord and on the community page on the YouTube channel. And if you haven't done it yet, join our Discord. Okay, please join our Discord. There's a lot of really great conversations going on over there. A lot of people talking about a lot of different things. A lot of articles that we don't get to talk about on the show are thrown up and talked about on the main chat as well over there on Discord. So please join that Discord. That would really, really mean a lot, okay? And if you haven't done it yet, hit that like button down below, crush that subscribe button, and definitely, if you got $4.99, $4.99 in your pocket and you can help this show, please hit that join button down below. Become a member of the Pascal Show family. That would really, really mean a lot, okay? That helps me fuel this channel and fuel this show so I can keep giving you guys your stories of the day. Anyway, it's time to get going, all right? Have a wonderful weekend if I don't see you guys, okay? Be good to yourselves, be good to one another, and I will see you guys very, very soon, okay? This is The Pascal Show. Bye.
Wellness for the holidays. Don't cancel them. Prepare, STL. Decorate. Make it as normal as you can, but slow the spread of COVID. Wear a mask. Wash your hands. Watch your distance. Prepare, STL, helping St. Louisans of color prepare and prevail.
But you see how he makes these S's in his body right here? That's where he's hanging on, and then he's moving forward with the locomotion of his ribs. That is classic Missouri rat snake right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab him before he gets into a hole. Now, these snakes are not biters. They won't bite as long as you don't squeeze them. If you just stop them like this, it'll freeze them, and then you just gently pull them back. As long as you don't squeeze them, they won't bite.
Yo, Mike, what's up, man?
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, so CashApp,
yeah,
fully open, right?
Yeah, we're pretty much open. So you can't sit inside yet. Monday you can sit inside a little bit. We'll have 25% of the tables inside, and then we're letting it rip outside.
So I know that there's a lot of people really concerned about staying safe and all that.
No,
so what are you guys doing in regards to that?
Well, we have extra people to clean and rub everything down all the time. Everybody inside's wearing masks. And we have little stickers on the ground so everyone can stay 6 feet apart.
Right on.
The tables are all spaced out, inside and outside.
CashApp, open in full effect right now. They're staying healthy, they're staying clean. Go get you a rack of ribs. CashApp, open right now.
Thanks.
The Fur and Leather Center, providing the highest of fur and leather goods.
I'm sorry, I can't make this interview boring.